is it right to say that because of lack of protein, we are eating more carbs?
That is also one of the reason, because, for example, if you are if you know how to optimize fiber and protein in your meal, automatically your intake of carbs will reduce.
Right, right.
For example, I tried this. For my patient, I practically advise these things. I'll tell them that you forget about all this low carb, keto, and all those things. I will tell about the body physiology. Your body need a fiber. Your body need a protein as per your body weight, at least 1 gram per kg body weight. And your body also need a carbs, but not in the refined form, at least unrefined forms. I tell them you follow this order. First, eat a fiber, at least 50 gram fiber in the form of simple salad or sprouts. Then eat your protein, 25 30 gram protein as per your body weight. At the last, keep your carbs. That carbs, instead of white rice, replace with red rice, minimize it. Automatically, I found that once they start a meal with a fiber and protein, their intake of carbs will reduce
Right.
because they are 50% full with the fiber and protein only. And in the dinner, I tell them, if you're in the dinner and all, where you're not working at all, you eat only fiber and protein. No need to eat any carbs at all. If you're serious about reversing the diabetes and reducing the weight, eat your carb only for 1 meal a day. Other 2 meals, eat only fiber and protein.
Right. So, one common pattern which we see with people is that Indians are not very fat, not obese. They are skinny fat or tofu, as we call them. Uh, but in spite of that, we tend to get diabetes. What is the reason behind that?
See, that could be one thing is Indians, and I do not think agree with you completely. See, I might just give an example. You see your marriage photograph of your parents' age, 30, 40
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
In the entire photograph, you hardly see 1 or 2 people obese.
Mm-hmm.
You see today's marriage photographs, you see 50% people are obese.
Right.
In addition to that, there are thin individuals who are diabetic because they have a lot of visceral fat.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in this gym culture is not there in the India, especially
Mm-hmm.
somebody who are aged 50 plus now. They think that gym is not for us. The weight training is only for young people. 50 plus people in India think that they're only meant for a walking. If they go to gym, they'll have some injuries and all. The concept is not there. Automatically, after 30 years, they start losing a muscle mass. And once you lose a muscle mass, your tummy fat will start increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So both the ways, the even obese becoming diabetic and thin individual with a visceral fat also becoming diabetic, both are true.
Right. So, I think from reading your post on X, we understand that fasting insulin is a very important test. Could you just tell this for the audience?
Yeah, this is for diabetic diagnosis. People normally people do 3 tests. One is fasting sugar, second is 2 hour after breakfast, PPBS, and HbA1c. But before the HbA1c goes high, the diabetics initiation has started 10 years before. For example, your fasting insulin, or more precisely, the test called as HOMO-IR. It is a formula of both fasting glucose and fasting insulin. If these are high, then that is the time where the diabetic process has started. And from there, 10 years onwards, the HbA1c goes high. So if you can measure your fasting insulin, and if it is high, if you address at that particular point of time, then automatically you can prevent the diabetes. So still common understanding, you can say fasting insulin and HOMO-IR test are called as pre-diabetes tests. If HbA1c is a diabetes screening test, fasting insulin is a pre-diabetes test. And
Mm-hmm.
also fasting insulin not only tell you about diabetes, it also tell you about your metabolic dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
So insulin resistance is not only leading to the diabetic, it can lead to overweight, it can link it to many cancers, it can link it to incidence of strokes, it can link it to your cardiac problems and other things. So you can say fasting insulin is a pre-diabetic test as well as early predictor of a metabolic dysfunction.
So, what are some of the other tests a normal person should look for metabolic health? Not diabetes specifically, general
Okay.
metabolic health.
The basic thing is first, the basic parameters is triglycerides. In the lipid profile, many people focus only on the like, LDL. That's not true. You focus on triglyceride. If your triglyceride is above 100, you might be having a metabolic dysfunction. Your fasting blood sugar above 100 is again maybe indicative of insulin resistance. And your HDL, good cholesterol, if it is less than 50, it can indicate a metabolic dysfunction. And these are the three basic tests. And fourth is your blood pressure. Your BP is above 130/80, and your waist circumference for Indians, if it is more than 90 centimeters for a man and more than 80 for a woman. These are the five basic metabolic biomarkers everyone should look into.